Доброе утро.
Доброе.
Good morning.
Morning.
Я хочу вчерашний вопрос продолжить. Вот все-таки я наблюдаю себя в разных состояниях. То есть ищу, где это я находится. И если я нахожусь в ровном состоянии, когда ищу, то это происходит легко. Если же я в этот момент нахожусь под влиянием каких-то эмоций, кстати, не только отрицательных, но и положительных, то когда я начинаю искать в этот момент, где я, происходит как это сказать, сожаление о том, что я ухожу из этого состояния, из вовлеченности в эти эмоции. Неважно, положительные они или отрицательные. И с одной стороны, вот меня это как бы тотальность, она втягивает, можно сказать, а с другой стороны происходит торможение и сожаление по поводу ухода от этих моих эмоций, так скажем, от разрыва с ними какого-то, разотождествления или еще как-то, не знаю, как это назвать. Вот нормально это или нет? Или я что-то не так делаю?
When I look for the I, when I am calm, it happens easily. When I do it while being influenced by some negative or positive emotions, I do feel contradicted, or I feel sorry for not being able to experience this emotion fully. And even though like, I feel attracted to the is it normal or not?
What is normal?
Что нормально?
It's another thought.
Нормальность – это очередная мысль.
The very thought, normal, is the cause of conflict.
Сама мысль о нормальности является причиной конфликта.
And the thinker of the thought normal is thought. Is the thought normal too?
Тот, кто думает мысль о нормальности, также является этой мыслью.
The thinker is a thought.
Мыслящий есть мысль.
Is made out of thought.
Он сделан из мысли.
I think this is normal.
Я думаю, это нормально.
All that is one thought.
Это все одна мысль.
It's one thought process. Right?
Один мыслительный процесс,
That carries the ego sense.
который несет в себе чувство эго.
It carries the me thinking that this, that is normal or not normal.
Он несет в себе вот это я, которое думает, что это нормально или ненормально.
That is the divided thinking.
Разделенное мышление.
Thinking is not a problem as such.
Мышление как таковое не является проблемой.
It's this imaginary subject-object thought,
Дело
belief.
вот в этих воображаемых мыслях или убеждениях, которые несут в себе вот эту концепцию субъекта и объекта.
Even when the people see the mind, they see the mind as an object, so there is another subject now seeing the mind.
Даже когда люди видят ум, они видят его как объект. И получается тогда, что есть какой-то еще субъект, который видит его.
And some people say that they witnessed 7 witnesses or something. This is
Что видно что?
like, I saw one witness and then there's another seer, there's another seer.
Некоторые говорят, что они вот видят одного видящего, этого видящего видят другой видящий, там еще один видящий, еще и еще.
You are already aware of the body and the mind.
Вы уже осознаете ум и тело,
You just believe that they are separate entities.
но считаете, что они есть отдельные сущности.
That the body and the mind is separate from the one that is aware of them.
Вы считаете, что ум и тело отдельные от того, кто осознает их.
In fact, the body and the mind is what is aware of them.
По сути, тело... Sorry, inside?
The body and the mind is what is aware of them. They are not separate from what is aware of them. Who is aware of them? Whatever you
По
like
сути,
to put.
тело и ум не отдельно от того, что осознает их. Они и есть оно.
And if I don't feel guilty, I feel proud.
Если я не горжусь чем-то, то я испытываю вину.
If I am not unhappy with myself, I am happy with myself.
Если я не недоволен собой, то я доволен собой.
But this myself is identical with the thought that makes you feel unhappy and the thought that makes you feel happy, because this myself is any thought.
Вот это вот я, оно идентично с любой мыслью, которая доставляет вам радость или боль, потому что оно и есть эта мысль.
Are you following?
Вы понимаете?
Да. Но получается, что неважно, что чувствует я, когда я начинаю процесс исследования, да, что там, какие-то сожаления, беспокойства возникают или еще что-то. Все это не важно, потому что все равно все это, во-первых, иллюзия, во-вторых, это все равно часть я, и я ее никогда не брошу, она все равно останется мной, как частью большого мира. Так получается?
It doesn't matter what the I is feeling at the moment of inquiry, because I will...
The I doesn't exist.
It is a part of me, and I will never...
There is no parts. There are no parts of me.
Нет никаких частей меня.
Me is precisely the one that divides the universal cake in conceptual pieces.
Я это то, что разделяет, разрезает торт Вселенной на воображаемые куски.
Are you following? Part of me.
Часть меня.
Me whom?
Какого меня?
Imagine that from the full body identity point of view, let's put it in this way.
С точки зрения полного отождествления с телом.
Right? And I say, oh, my body is divided in parts. See, this finger, this finger, this finger.
Можно разделить на части. Вот этот палец, этот палец.
The hands,
руки,
the nose, the mouth, the ears.
Нос, рот, уши.
That means that the body is now divided into a subject and object.
Это означает, что тело теперь разделено надвое, на субъект и на объект.
There is only the body, the whole body.
Но есть только тело, целое тело.
Right? All these divisions are imaginary. See, for the sake of the practicality of the matter, you may have to create some sort of definition for each organ, the heart, the liver, the stomach, intestine, and so on.
Все эти разделения воображаемые, хотя нам приходится их создавать для того, чтобы ради практичных моментов. Мы можем называть органы, части тела.
But in reality, there is only the whole body, see?
Но в реальности есть только целое тело.
There are no parts.
Нет никаких частей.
There's no me and my parts.
Нет у меня и частей меня.
But this is part of me, right? Or part of myself, I don't know, or other people. So there is only one existence, one absolute existence, one absolute reality, one life if you wish.
Только одно абсолютное существование, одна жизнь.
Ну, я понимаю это интеллектуально, что есть только одна жизнь. Но в момент...
Интеллектуально is not understanding.
Но в момент, когда вот есть сильные эмоции, положительные или отрицательные, они кажутся очень реальными. И когда я в этот момент начинаю исследование, это не мысль о том, что есть части, а просто автоматически мое «я» как бы раздваивается на исследование, и на вот эту часть, которая испытывает эмоции, которая, ну, как бы настолько сильная эта часть, я вынужден назвать ее частью, потому что это то, что я чувствую, это не то, что я думаю. Это происходит, и я не знаю, что с этим делать.
When I experience strong emotions, automatically I feel separated into the part that inquires or inquiry, or and the one that feels the emotion.
Inquiry means to seize your thought process
Исследование означает смотреть, видеть свой мыслительный процесс.
without liking it or disliking it.
Не оценивая его.
Without accepting it or rejecting it.
Не принимая, не отвергая.
Without separating this thought from this thought, and these thoughts are good, these thoughts are bad, these thoughts I like,
Не
these
разделяя мысли
thoughts.
на хорошие, плохие.
Well, there is no such thing as watching your thoughts from distance. How far can you be from your own mind? It's not possible.
Вот это вот то, что смотреть на свои мысли с расстояния, это ерунда, потому что насколько далеки вы можете быть от своего ума.
Then you create another self
Вы создаете какое-то новое «я»,
that is watching a separate entity from distance called thought, called mind, called body, or
которое смотрит с расстояния на свои мысли.
Я не создаю, я спрашиваю себя, эти эмоции, это есть я? У меня ответ нет. В этот момент меня выталкивают из этих эмоций, но у меня ощущение, что я их бросил.
Нет ощущения такого?
У меня ощущение, что я их бросил.
When I'm inquiring, I'm asking myself, am I these emotions? The answer is no, and I feel like kicked out from the emotion, but then I feel that I abandon it.
all that is what you think. See, no? See, what you feel is what you think.
То, что вы чувствуете, это то, что вы думаете.
Can you see that the subject and the seer and the seen, they
Вы
are,
видите, что субъект, видимое,
they are the
видящий,
same thought,
все одна и та же мысль,
the same thought process.
один и тот же мыслительный процесс.
That when the subject appears, the object appears.
Когда появляется субъект, появляется объект.
That when the thinker appears, the thoughts appear.
Когда появляется мыслящий, появляются мысли.
Ну, мысли понятно, а эмоции тоже туда же? Это тоже ум?
Understandable thoughts, but emotions are the same.
If they are produced by thoughts,
Они вызываются мыслями.
there must be you reacting to something,
Вы реагируете на что-то.
right? There is you and something,
Есть
right?
вы и что-то.
There is a division.
Есть разделение.
That's a divided mind, a divided thinking, not even mind, but thinking.
Разделенное мышление.
The divided thinking is called mind.
Разделенное мышление – это то, что мы называем умом.
The division within the thought process is called mind, ego,
Разделение в мыслительном процессе – это ум, эго,
individual, person,
индивидуальность, личность,
me,
я,
I thought.
я мысль.
Хорошо, я понял.
No, you don't, you quit. It's different.
Нет, вы не поняли, вы хотите сбежать.
Нет, я просто буду пробовать вот то, что сказал Цезарь.
This is not a doing.
Это не действие.
This is not a tool that you're going to use and implement.
Это не инструмент, который вы будете использовать.
You are that effortless awareness.
Вы являетесь этой безусильной осознанностью.
You are already aware
Вы
of
уже
the body and the
осознаете
mind.
тело и ум.
And you are also conscious of being.
Вы осознаете бытие.
Right? You are already self-aware.
Вы осознаете себя
You are
уже.
mistaking yourself for this mental self.
Вы ошибочно принимаете себя за только ментальное «я».
That's all.
Вот и все.
Everything is complete, full already. Now, in reality,
Все уже совершенно.
there is nothing to realize.
Нечего осознавать.
If there is something to realize, it's that the one that wants to realize something does not exist.
Если есть что-то, что нужно осознать, так это то, что не существует того, кто хочет что-то осознать.
Because he will say that now is ignorant, and then he will say that it is realized.
Потому что сейчас мы говорим, что вот это «я» невежественное, а потом оно станет реализованным.
Then you have a realized ego also now.
Появляется реализованное эго.
And then you become a spiritual dictator.
Вы превращаетесь в духовного диктатора,
Controller, manipulator.
манипулятора.
And still in conflict.
Все еще вы находитесь в конфликте.
Therefore, you will carry on being abusive and violent and aggressive and
Следовательно, вы будете продолжать
controlling
быть контролирующим,
and manipulating and
манипулирующим,
psychologically, mentally.
психологически, ментально.
And everything, at least mostly, will be all for self-interest.
И большая часть ваших действий будет направлена на собственный интерес.
For me feeling good.
Для того, чтобы я почувствовал себя хорошо.
Because if I believe that I'm a self-realized being and somebody comes and challenges that,
Если я верю, что я самореализованный, кто-то придет и поставит это под сомнение,
right, then you will not feel happy.
вы не будете довольны.
I attained the ultimate. Who attained what?
Кто чего достигает?
How can a thought attain anything?
Как мысль может что-либо достичь?
Or lose anything?
Или потерять что-либо?
Okay, there is nothing to get, nothing to lose.
Нечего получать и нечего потерять.
The totality is already there.
Эта тотальность, она уже есть.
Everything is already there.
Все уже есть.
But there is a thought that says, no, it's not, something is missing.
Есть какая-то мысль, которая говорит, что нет, чего-то не хватает.
And then he creates an idea of a higher self.
Она создает идею о высшем «я».
And he goes for it.
И следует за ней.
Like a mad dog.
Как бешеная собака.
That he mentally creates a bone.
И моментально он создает кость.
And there is a higher self. Right?
Это высшее «я».
And
Я понял, в чем ошибка у меня. В том, что я вот это делаю исследование, чтобы чего-то достичь. У меня была цель достичь чего-то. Я понял сейчас, что это как бы идет не туда.
Exactly, because it's a habit. See?
Потому что это привычка.
It's an egocentric mental habit.
Эгоцентричная ментальная привычка.
Then I is another achievement, right?
Когда «я» становится очередным достижением.
Like I don't know, you go to high school and then you achieve your certificate, right? That's an achievement. Right?
Мы, например, идем в старшую школу, По окончанию старшей школы нам выдают диплом, и вот оно, достижение.
I got this, right?
Я получила это.
And then you frame it and proudly hang it on the wall.
Мы ставим это в рамку и вешаем на стену.
So you, to reinforce your self-image, that you have that to reinforce your self-image hanging on the
Чтобы
wall.
усилить свой образ себя.
Or your trophies, your medals also.
Или ваши там трофеи, медали.
Then you start reinforcing that nonsense, that belief.
Начинаем усиливать эту идею.
And then you get married.
Затем вы выходите, женитесь.
This is a fulfillment of life, right?
Это вот такое достижение жизненное.
These people call fulfillment. I realize my dreams. I have my beautiful wife.
Достиг своей мечты. У меня красивая жена.
And my beautiful children and my beautiful house. And these are my achievements. Right? It is me and my achievements. The ego is called I and mine. Right? And there is nothing against having an education.
Нет, я не имею ничего против того, чтобы иметь образование.
Engage in some sport activities or hobbies.
Спортом,
right? In having a relationship.
Чтобы иметь отношения.
Right? Expressing affection and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with it.
Ничего плохого в этом.
The question is, who is involved in all that?
Вопрос в том, кто занимается всем этим.
Who is the experiencer, the achiever, the conqueror?
Кто является проживающим этого всего, тем, кто достиг этого.
And the society reinforces that.
Общество только усиливает это.
You feel proud? I am proud of you.
Я горжусь тобой.
Right? Pride.
Гордость.
Now you have to be proud even of being gay.
Теперь нужно гордиться даже тем, что ты гей.
If you are gay, you are gay. What to do?
Если ты гей, то ты гей. Что поделать?
And if you are straight, you are straight. Right?
Если не гей, то не гей.
Well, what is this pride all about? In any...
Что это за гордость?
When you die, they will write on the grave, here is resting the proudest man in the world. Is gone.
Что когда вы умрете, они на плите напишут, что вот здесь покоится самый гордый человек.
Now he must be proud that he's dead also.
Теперь он, наверное, гордится и тем, что он мертв.
That maybe he's proud that he go to heaven or hell or something.
Может быть, он гордится тем, что он в ад попал или в рай.
Wherever you think you go after this. Are you following what I'm trying to say? I don't know.
Да.
Then you want to develop this self-image. It's a mental self-image, right?
У нас развивается вот этот ментальный образ себя.
And then if somebody likes that image, you feel elated.
Если кому-то нравится этот образ ваш, то вы чувствуете себя хорошо.
And you are friends with these people.
Вы становитесь друзьями этих людей.
You love them. And you call that love. No, we love each other.
Говорите, что нет, мы любим друг друга.
No, you are alike.
Нет, просто вы похожи.
So you like each other. That's different.
Вы нравитесь друг другу.
And if somebody puts you down, then you feel humiliated.
Вы чувствуете себя униженным.
So you are not like these people.
Вы не такой, как они.
Then you dislike these people.
Да, они вам не нравятся.
Right? And the same thing with your thoughts.
То же самое в отношении ваших мыслей.
No, I don't want this. So these are not mine. These are someone else's.
Нет, эти мысли мне не нравятся. Я их не хочу, и они вообще не мои.
The bad thoughts, someone else had put it in my head, and the good thoughts.
Плохие мысли кто-то другой поместил мне в голову.
And I am only the good thoughts.
Я это только хорошие мысли.
I am not the bad thoughts.
Не плохие.
You are none of them.
Вы не те, и не другие.
You are not a thought.
Вы это не мысль.
You are not what you think.
Вы это не то, что вы думаете.
You are that from where the thought arises.
Вы есть то, откуда мысли возникают.
And there is nothing separate from that.
Нет ничего отдельного от этого.
Therefore, that alone is.
Следовательно, есть только это.
There is no I
Нету я.
or me. There is no self.
Нету самости.
It's a mental construct.
Это ментальная конструкция.
So, hallucinated entity.
Воображаемая сущность.
There is only the phenomenon, whatever it is.
Есть только феномены, какими бы они ни были.
There is only what is.
Есть только то, что есть.
And of course, what is cannot be without awareness of it.
И, конечно же, то, что есть, не может существовать без осознавания того, что есть.
But awareness of what is not separate from what is also what is.
Но осознавание того, что есть, не отдельно от того, что есть. Оно также является им.
Но вот я начинаю свое исследование, получается, я даже говорю, я начинаю исследование. Соответственно, я его начинаю всегда из эго. А эго, мне всегда нужна какая-то цель. То есть я его начинаю для чего-то, а не просто так. Соответственно, если я его начинаю с какой-то целью, я ожидаю, что я чего-то достигну. А как тогда исследовать без ожидания достижения, если я начинаю исследование из эго?
It's inquiry starts from ego, then there are expectations and desire to achieve something.
Even the desire to get rid of the ego.
How to do it not holding.
Because just look at you. I just told you the answer.
Я вам сказала ответ.
I've been answering your question for 20 minutes or so.
20 минут уже сижу, отвечаю на ваш вопрос.
Just witness the mind.
Наблюдайте за умом.
And the witness of the mind also.
Наблюдайте за наблюдателем.
You are already doing it, but you don't know.
Вы уже делаете это, но вы не знаете этого.
If there is mind, there is something to be witnessed, right? If there is mind, there is witnessing.
Если есть ум, то есть наблюдение.
If there is no mind, there is no witnessing. Right?
Если нет ума, то и нет наблюдения.
If there is no mind, there is nothing there to be witnessed. Right?
Если нет ума, то наблюдать нечего.
So, what is the witness? What is the space for?
Я наблюдаю, но я наблюдаю с какой-то целью, а это автоматически ведет меня не туда, потому что мне надо, получается, наблюдать без цели. А как Алексей может наблюдать без цели? Все, что делает Алексей, он делает для чего-то. Он никогда не делает ничего просто так.
Whatever Alexei does, he does it for something.
Alexei doesn't even know that it exists.
Алексей не знает даже того, что он существует.
Now you are creating another subject of yourself and talking about Alexei. I am not Alexei. Alexei is this.
Вы создаете из Алексея какой-то очередной объект, говорите, что вы это не Алексей, Алексей делает одно, другое, третье.
See, the same self, right? As a self-defense mechanism, creates another argument, another story.
В качестве механизма защиты себя, это я, она создает какую-то новую уловку, новую историю.
It's another shape of the same shadow.
Тень принимает новую форму.
So, Alexei is doing this for, and that for what?
like looking for some
satisfaction. Looking for satisfaction.
Ищите удовлетворение.
Right? The satisfaction of a desire.
Удовлетворение желания.
Of a thought.
Мысли.
Right? This thought satisfaction.
Удовлетворение мысли.
How can you say satisfaction? Right? Yeah, satisfying a belief. You're happy because your belief has been accomplished.
Вы пытаетесь удовлетворить
Right?
какую-то идею, и испытываете радость по этому поводу.
Yeah.
Everybody is like that, for God's sake.
Да все такие.
Otherwise, you are a saint.
В противном случае вы святой, наверное.
Already enlightened and all
Уже
that.
просветленный.
Everybody is the same.
Все одинаковые.
Some of them in a smaller scale, others
У
in a
кого-то
larger
это поменьше,
scale.
у кого-то побольше.
But if we are honest with ourselves, we are all like that.
Если мы будем честны с собой, то мы увидим, что мы все одинаковые в этом плане.
Humans,
Люди.
right? So as long as still there is one human thinking in that way, all humans are, because there is only one humanity. Right? There is one, as long as still there is one human slave. All humans are slave because humans are one race.
Пока есть один хотя бы человеческий раб, все люди порабощены, потому что есть только одна человеческая раса.
I just remember the waiting tone from Alpha. Let my people go. Moses, Moses, let my people go.
Моисей, отпусти моих людей.
The Pharaoh said the same thing. Let my people go.
Фараон сказал,
There is I and mine.
есть я и мое.
From this side and from the other side.
С этой стороны и с другой стороны.
If there is a God, I think this is His, right? This God is an ego God.
Если есть какой-то Бог, который думает, что что-то его, тогда это эго-Бог.
Where I and mine is present,
Бог, в котором есть я и мое.
This God must be the God of the ego.
Это Бог эго.
It's a selfish God.
Эгоистичный Бог.
That everything is His.
Что все принадлежит ему.
And don't anybody. Please. Thank you, Lord. These are mental human projections. Right?
Ментальные проекции людей.
They project their own ego self, and now they create that entity which is made of the image of a human. See,
Они создают эту сущность, которая сделана по образу людей.
The thinking terms of I and mine.
Которые думают в терминах я и мое.
So he thinks like me.
Следовательно, Бог тоже думает как я.
We are on the same team.
Мы в одной команде.
The I and mine team.
Команда я и мое.
My team, your team. See?
Моя команда, ваша команда.
Duality.
двойственность,
separation,
разделенность,
differentiation,
дифференциация,
independence,
независимость.
and my team is better than yours.
Моя команда лучше, чем ваша.
My ego is better than yours, actually.
Мое эго лучше, чем ваше.
It's higher than yours.
Оно выше, чем ваше.
Because my ego is a higher self, it belongs to a higher self.
Мое эго принадлежит высшему я.
And your ego belongs to a good Lord. This never ends like that.
Это никогда не закончится вот так.
У меня все. Спасибо.
Yes, observe the mind.
Наблюдайте ум.
Don't try to control it.
Не пытайтесь контролировать его.
Don't judge it.
Не осуждайте его.
Don't like it or dislike it.
Не отдавайте предпочтение чему-то.
If you don't like it, then you change the channel.
Как если вот вам что-то не нравится в телевизоре, вы переключаете канал
for a different thought channel that you like.
на другой мыслительный канал.
I will not think about this, I will rather think about that.
Я об этом думать не буду, я лучше подумаю об этом.
I will not think negatively, I will
Я не буду
rather
думать негативно,
think positively.
лучше буду думать позитивно.
I'm a positive thinker.
Я позитивный мыслящий.
I'm pro-positivism.
Я за позитивизм.
There is nobody realistic here.
Не осталось реалистов больше.
No control, no repression.
Никакого контроля, никакого подавления.
I cannot even tell you just see them because you cannot not see them.
Даже не могу вам сказать, просто видьте их, потому что вы не можете их не видеть.
Yes, we cannot know that which sees. You cannot not be that which is
Вы не
aware.
можете не быть тем, что осознает.
Or that which sees.
Тем, что видит.
However you like to call it. You are also that.
Вы также есть это.
Because completely identity with what is seen.
Просто есть полное отождествление с тем, что видится.
Everybody's waiting for something an experience to happen, something that shows up and I say, oh, I finally found it, I got it.
Все ждут, что какой-то опыт произойдет, что что-то обнаружит себя, и они скажут, что «О, я наконец-таки нашел это».
That never is going to happen.
Но это никогда не произойдет.
And if it happens, you're mentally creating that
Если
phenomenon.
оно и произойдет, то это будет что-то, что вы ментально создали.
You're achieving what you're thinking only.
Вы достигаете только то, о чем вы думали.
And then it's another mental achievement.
Очередное ментальное достижение.
I saw the light or something.
Я увидел свет или еще там
I
что-то
saw the
такое.
higher self or something.
Высшее я.
See, if there are no mind, there are no thoughts.
Если нет ума, то нет мыслей.
If there is an observer of no thought, the observer is thought.
The observer is?
Thought.
Если есть наблюдатель, if there is an observer of?
If there is an observer of no thought, be
Если есть
sure
наблюдатель, который не видит мыслей,
that observer of no thought is thought.
будьте уверены в том, что этот наблюдатель является мыслью.
And then the observer wants to be free from thoughts all the time
Наблюдатель хочет быть свободным от мыслей все время.
and becomes lazy.
Он становится ленивым.
And then they say, oh, when I am in that state, I don't want to do anything.
Он говорит, когда я в этом состоянии, то я ничего не
I
хочу
just want to
делать.
be in this very nice
Я
state.
хочу только быть в этом состоянии.
And who is going to pay the rent
Кто будет платить за квартиру?
and the electricity bill
Кто будет платить за электричество?
and all that?
И так далее.
Oh God, ego traps everywhere.
Повсюду ловушки эго.
If there is a seer of no thought,
Если есть тот, кто видит отсутствие мыслей,
be sure that the seer of no thought is the mind, thought.
это ум.
Because still is the idea of being someone,
Что все еще это представление о том, что вы это кто-то,
seeing no one.
кто никого не видит.
That is also repression.
Это тоже подавление.
The thought process as such does not come to an end.
Мыслительный процесс как таковой не исчезает.
The capacity to think
Способность мыслить.
is this self-centered thinking process that
Зацикленный на себе мыслительный процесс
comes to an end.
заканчивается.
Always seeking for self-satisfaction.
Которые всегда ищут удовлетворенности какой-то для себя.
Self-growth.
Личностный рост.
This self wants to grow.
Эта личность хочет вырасти,
And be successful
быть успешной,
and being recognized
чтобы ее признали.
and being inspired or a source of inspiration
Она хочет вдохновления или быть источником вдохновления
and the rest of it.
и так далее.
He wants to be a role model.
Она хочет быть ролевой моделью.
Means that he wants everybody else to be like him.
Это значит, что она хочет, чтобы все были как он, она.
He wants to be a god, but everybody else is made out of his own image. He wants to be a god. These people want to be a god.
Эти люди, они хотят быть Богом,
They want everybody to be
чтобы все были сделаны по
made out of the same image.
образу и подобию их.
When people are in this thoughtless state, it's no different than being sleeping.
Когда люди находятся в состоянии безмыслия, это все равно, что спать.
They are experiencing the same darkness,
Та же самая темнота там,
dullness of
вялость,
deep sleep.
что в глубоком сне.
They are meditating in the very veil of ignorance.
Они медитируют на вуаль невежества.
See, if there is a meditator, there is no meditation.
Если есть медитирующий, то нет медитации.
Meditation is one's natural state,
Медитация – это ваше естественное состояние,
effortless awareness.
весосильная осознанность.
Who is a meditator?
Кто является медитирующим?
That is meditating on something and sees this and that in the meditation
Который медитирует на что-то, видит что-то в этой медитации.
and says, I had a nice meditation
Говорит, что у меня была такая хорошая медитация.
and I had such and such visions in
У
my
меня были там
meditation.
видения какие-то.
I saw the light in
Я
meditation.
увидел свет в медитации.
I spent 3 hours in meditation. Yeah.
3 часа провел в медитации.
I am an advanced meditator
Я продвинутый медитирующий.
and my guru gave me even a certificate.
Мой
He
гуру дал мне сертификат.
certified, he guaranteed to everybody that it's true, that I was not thinking for 5 hours.
Где там подтверждается факт того, что 5 часов я ни о чем не думаю.
That makes me an advanced meditator.
Это делает из меня продвинутого
And I
медитирующего.
am better meditator than you,
Я медитирую лучше, чем ты.
and so on.
И так далее.
Yeah. Meditation level number 2. Medication. What is this one? Okay.
Existe only.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Up and down. Probably too late to ask question, but I wanted to ask, maybe you could a bit explain about the thought. What is thoughts? Like, as I used to think that thoughts is just like words which I hear in my head, but it seems that by thought you mean something much more, like that it's also, when it's not in my head, it's still there when I don't hear it, kind of.
What is asking the question is thought.
How to understand that? Like you just said that when there is
is when within your thinking there is a sense of self, a sense of being, an identity with the thought itself.
Also, concept of identity is quite blurry to me.
See, thought is, let's say, divided thinking. When there is the idea that the subject and the object are two separate entities. That the perceiver is separate from the perceived, that the experiencer is separate from the experience, right? That the seer is separate from the seen. That is called thought, where there is me and the other. And the other is perceived as separate from me. So I achieve this. See? There are two, I and what is achieved, right? What is supposed to be achieved and the achievement, right?
Not duality.
Duality, exactly. Duality is there is duality, there is separation. I am here and this is there. And the idea of differentiation, I am different from this, right? I don't need this. I can live without this. I am independent, detached from this, right? And I am higher than this because this is an insentient being. I am a sentient being, so my consciousness is more developed, is higher consciousness than the consciousness in the glass, and the rest of all that stuff. So duality, separation, differentiation, independence, and the ideas of...
Well, that's all what follows, but it starts with that duality.
Exactly. As long as the division appears within the thought process, everything else comes with it. See, so when I appears, right? When the me appears, then everything is me actually, right? Because when the I appears, everything else appears. As if it were separate. Not that you see a tree and you pass a comment, oh, look at that tree, you see? Or we need to see, you see the tree and then you say, okay, this tree needs to be cut because the branches are coming to the balcony, it can break the fences and all, right? So something that needs to be done, and then an action follows. You go and take your sewing machine or whatever you like it, your axe, and chun chun chun, and you chop the tree and you try not to chop more of what needs to be chopped because you don't want to bother the tree as much, right? And then you take this rubbish and throw it and so on. So there's a movement that takes place, right? Which is what is happening. What is happening is that the branches of that tree are too long. I'm going to break the windows of the house. The tree is going to enter the house. And then what is happening also is a response to that says, okay, that tree needs to be chopped. And then another thought comes, okay, how can I chop that tree? So I will take my tools and I can chop it, or I have to call somebody.
That basically can happen also without thought.
Yeah, see, not all activities depends upon a thought process. If you're gonna use the metro, or you're gonna take a bus from point A to point B, you need thought, you need the mind. The mind is not the enemy. It's when the mind becomes egocentric, right? The thought process becomes egocentric, right?
Yeah, that's the thing which is hard to see. I kind of understand when you are telling it, but like in
for example,
practically.
I want to go to the city center to meet with this girl, which is quite pretty. So it's pleasant to see. It's quite funny. It's pleasant to have her around, and maybe even to go deeper, right? To have her intimacy will be nice, and I will go there, see, expecting something for me, right? That doesn't mean that there is nothing wrong, that that person may be pretty, nice looking, happy, funny, and the rest of it can happen. That's this what is happened. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it's basically the movement is done, see, by me, for me, right? It's completely self-centered. And then the next day you want to repeat the same experience, right? And you make the phone call, you try to repeat it. And that girl says, listen, I'm not available today because I'm going to meet my boyfriend. Right? And then you say, damn it, see, I cannot get what I want, right? For my self-satisfaction, and then you get disappointed, you get angry. Maybe you blame her. See, how dare you have a boyfriend, right? How dare you have a life of your own? How dare you free and all that.
That when that moment when thought starts to go that way, then need to look at that like thinker. That's I thought, but that I thought is kind of cannot really locate it because it's not like I don't hear it in my head.
A thought is just a movement that is necessary to identify the body as I, right? So you go to a shop or you go to a restaurant, say, I would like to have a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. See, that's knowledge. Even the thought I is knowledge, right? But when this thought process gets divided, it's called self-knowledge. But the thought process, the mind appears to be a self. See, appears to be an entity that is experiencing everything as separate from itself, separate from its source. It may even deny its source, the existence of its source. I am a separate, independent thought. Right? So thinking in reality is as natural as breathing, right? So the self-image that comes from the thought process, right? The idea of being a separate individual something. This is what is called mind, ego, thought, self, illusion, ignorance, and so on. Individual.
And still again, what to do with it?
Nothing. If you don't do anything, then you can see it operating. There's an intelligence in that quality of
somebody wants to do something.
Nothing this needs to be done. There will be a realization. Okay, it's like without intention, without effort, without desire, without the need of knowledge, and without even knowing how you are doing it or how it's getting done, right? There's a discrimination process between the egocentric movement of the thought process and the rational, practical thinking, right? And then you see the self-centered mechanism within the thought process, right? And when you see the self-centered mechanism of the thought process, the I and mind, the I looking for something for its own, it's a mental satisfaction.
Yeah.
And then you see that, because I can go, obviously, who wants to spend a bad time with a friend or with somebody? Obviously, you go there, but you go to both of you to have a half time. And it's like this called interaction that is not, see, both are each other enjoying, right? It's not always this, okay, how can I make it? See, always making a trick. right? To get what you want for your personal interest, right? So the mind as a person, right? If there is a mind as a person, there is always a personal interest. People don't believe that you can be satisfied and that you can profit, right? Or benefit from your thought process or from your actions, right? This is why some master says, forget about the result. Do your best. Nobody can deny you the result. It's going to be there, right? But it's never going to be the way you want, right? So how many times do you have your nice girls and you go home and they say, I have a headache, right? And then where are your plans and all that? You get frustrated. Not because somebody have a headache, not because the shop is closed, not because they are not wave at the beach that you can run. It's because your desire, what you were expecting, see, your thought is not satisfied. So the thought is dissatisfied. So because the feeling of dissatisfaction is also a thought. Ah, damn it, right? And that produces an emotion and a feeling in the body. All that collectively is the mind as an ego self. Is it like a
now again that you say that dissatisfaction is also thought. Like what is that thought? Because I can, like, there can be dissatisfaction, but I don't hear and saying in my head, ah, damn it, or something. It's like,
and it is there in a very subtle form. Right?
you cannot see it. Should I see it?
Well, this is only you can know that. See, when are you not seeing something? When is there a moment that you are not aware? Even when you say I am not aware, you're aware that you are not aware.
Usually I'm aware of that feeling which already comes, and I'm not aware of thought from which it started.
Okay, and then don't do anything. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Whether it's you are aware of something external or the person, right? What other person are saying, what other person are doing, right? You recognize what is happening there. See, you don't blind yourself to what is happening, right? You're not blind; it's there. So you see somebody being kind with another person. You can see the children playing. You can see an asshole doing something stupid. So you don't deny the fact. This is what is happening. This person is being aggressive. This person is being kind. That's a fact. This is what is happening, right? It's no judgment. That's the whole point. But there is a recognition of what is there, but there is no judgment of what is there. When you start judging what is there, then your thought process is split, right? Are you following? That doesn't mean that you see, if I am walking at the beach and I see a whole bunch of people completely drunk, being aggressive, that doesn't mean that I will say, I just love them. I love them all. I'm just aware of it and I will know. If they see that they are aggressive, they are looking at you, and you can feel like you may walk in a different direction or turn around and walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right? But there is no conflict, so to speak, with what you are aware of, right? So the external, and then you can call your body, what this body is doing, how this body is doing it, without judging your own body, right? Because it's a natural movement of the universe, right? And without judging also your thought process. It's just to be aware.
Yeah, not simple.
It's basically to be that which is aware. And then the sense of separation between you and the others disappears. You are the others. See? There is nothing separate or united with yourself. It is. We can put it in two ways. Either everything is yourself, there is no other, and there is no you, and there is only the totality of life. And then you are not bothered about what happens. But many people misunderstand this and then use it to justify the egocentrism, right? It gets confused and allows stupid things to happen because they don't respond to what is happening because they are not supposed to react, right? And let things happen. This is where the people get confused, right? Yesterday, for some bizarre reason, which is very difficult to happen, I lost the keys of the house where I keep the keys of the bike because I always hang it in the same place and I make sure that my key ring is a hook, like these people that do climbing, a hook, so I can put it in it will never get out of my pocket, right? And I always have the habit, put it, click, I enter the house on click and put it in the same place. I like things to put things in the same place because I think it's practical, right? And you're not running around, what is this and what is that, right? Then the keys were lost. And we were then automatically like a police mind, okay, where did it get lost? Did somebody steal it? If it is stolen, mamma mia, was the staff of the building? No, because this is half apartment, half hotel, and they have keys to enter. They come once a way and they by themselves come and clean. So why would they steal it? It was a third person, right? And then you start thinking, okay, let me check what was my routine? When did I lose it? I went for a walk to do my morning walk, and then I came back to do exercises, and I remember, okay, switch off the bike, and I talked to my neighbors that were downstairs. I remember putting the key of the bike in the key ring in my pocket, and I was wearing my sports shorts. I will never do exercises with the keys because it's uncomfortable, especially if I have to lay down or whatever. So I know that I entered the house and hang it there, and then there was the suspicious that somebody from inside, indirect, the kids, so maybe not somebody from the building, from outside, they are looking at us because the money was stolen. Somebody broke in a few days ago. And then yesterday, then I say, okay, where did I go today? Well, I could have left the keys, but in the car. And I went to the car, there is no keys. I went to the skate park where I took Indrik for a while to ask fun, and I look around and the owners know I found no keys, and I went to the cafe where I was before, nothing, right? But you see, I lost my keys and that's it, right? I accept it and right, and then just, there is no acceptance, there is no rejection, right? An action may take place, and then Nasir eventually found the keys in the most unbelievable place. They just hiding. They just walked to jump out of the ring, to jump out of the hook, and hide themselves under the bananas. Right?
Oh, that's strange.
Right, that was very strange. Right, it was very, very strange. Right, and then when I went to talk to the people on the skate park, they said, "Oh, see, so apparently it's very common these robberies in this area." So it's like they say, but they are not aggressive. See, they stole my money twice, and the third time I came home, I didn't left my backpack in the same place. I took it to the bedroom, and at midnight I woke up because I thought it was my son. And normally he may come to the bed, and I open the blanket. When I open the blanket, there's a guy standing there. And my husband jumped, but they don't carry weapons or anything. They're just looking for the money. Just petty robbery. It's not. But I thought, okay, fine. They may come for my bike. I have to now buy a lock for the right. Maybe I may have to change the lock of the house. But this is a fact. The keys are not there, and anything can happen. So your mind works in that way. And then you find the keys and you cancel all what you thought. Right? You tell the owner, listen, there is no need to change the lock of the house. Okay, tell you the stuff that not even for a second I thought they were there. They were the one that stole it because it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
So it crossed my mind, but I don't have the guarantee, so I cannot see it. And then you don't go crazy. You cannot put the blame on nobody. You don't know, right? You only may. And of course you are concerned, right? and somebody tells you that no, my house somebody broke in 3 times and somebody else 2 times, and it's very common, right? If you don't take the precautions, that's all. If you lock the house and the windows and everything, then that's fine. It's just because people forget to a window of a balcony or whatever, right? Not because. And that was our case. We didn't close the balcony door, and they climbed through the fence, whatever it is, and took the money and went away. They didn't take the debit cards. They didn't take the laptops. They just came for the cash. That's it. This is just.
Mm.
Are you following what I'm trying to say? See, there is a thought process, right? So the weather changes constantly. I was called yesterday by my surfer's pals. And listen, tomorrow maybe it may come a swell, a ground swell coming from whatever. And then I checked yesterday, yeah, it may be, right? Then I check again, and it's a practical mind.
Yeah.
As you rightly said, you may not need that all the time. You don't need that, right?
Yeah.
To walk, you don't need to say, I will move my leg and the other leg, and then I will chop the tomato. Now I will move my. You don't do that.
Yeah.
In a way, you may be conditioned, right, to cut the vegetables, but there is this conditioning is harmless. Okay,
Yeah,
some people chop the vegetables like this, some people do it like this, and people do it in a different way.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
in
practical.
India, they have a fixed knife and they just move the vegetables towards the knife. This is absolutely, this is not. Now, self-centered movement will say, this is the right way to do it, and do it as I say. If you do it in that way, then I will scold you, I will be angry with you, because that's not the. Are you following? And what I'm defending is myself, not even the way of cutting. Okay, because I am right, I am identifying myself actually with that way of doing things, right? I'm identifying myself with that particular pattern of behavior, right? And then any pattern of behavior that doesn't look like me, it must be wrong, right? And then you react towards that movement according to this idea that is wrong. It's normally aggressive, violent, right? Or you are friendly with that person because your idea has been somehow accepted, followed. You have been followed, not even the cutting of the vegetables, the technique that has been followed, you have been followed. See, you have been obeyed. So it's self-centered. Can you see that? It's all about me. It's not about what happens, it's about me. Now this is the so-called thought, the so-called mind, the so-called ego, the individual, the person, ignorance. It has been called by many names, right? Not thinking as such. It's basically knowledge, right? Now we are using English knowledge to communicate with each other. Without that knowledge, we won't be able to communicate, right?
Yeah.
And within that language, you have to create an abstraction, a word that refers to this body. This is I, and this is you. See? Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine 2 people from the prehistoric time and the painting. I don't know, a couple, right? And then the husband or the wife paint, and this is you and this is me. See, you and me. I and you. I and you. Right? So it's just to refer to something.
Mm.
But that something is not the abstraction used to refer to it. So you are not the I thought, you are not what you think. It refers to something. It's not even yourself. Yourself is more than.
Yeah, so sometimes I notice it, that it's that
I may say to somebody when that if a person is brainless or cannot see and something needs to be done and that person cannot break through, somebody I say please just do it like this. See, it's not the right way to do it, but that's the way I know how to do it. At least it's gonna get done, right? Just go and can you please just do it, right? Just please just do it. Do this. How? Just do it like this. You go there, take the key and bring it back. Right? Sometimes the people are in a dull state of mind, they can't function properly. You have to sometimes, hey, wake up, right? But not or you may be upset because something is not done, but it has nothing to do with you. You are thinking basically for the sake of the collective. They say, come on, man, you haven't thrown the rubbish, right? We can get sick or the smell, right? And it's like when you're teaching. See, you're teaching something to somebody, it's for the sake of that somebody. Now, if I teach an ideology, it's for my sake, right?
Yeah.
So how you prepare a salad like this, so you can look after yourself, so you can learn how to cook and look. How are you gonna cut the vegetables? What food are you gonna eat and how? This is your business. Are you following? So what you are doing is like, this is yourself also. So, to whom are you teaching, helping, but yourself, right? But if I teach somebody to cook, not to be bothered by that person, so, oh my God, and I have to look after you. I'm not doing it. See, now my concern is me again, right? Not that, for God's sake, you're going to be dependent on me your whole life. You have to learn how to cook. Come, I'll show you again. Boil the water, now put the potatoes, and now and then check, see they are soft, and when they are soft, they are ready to eat. So you can look after yourself. So the concern is the person, not you, right?
Yeah. Okay, I guess I should go to work now. I'm in
Okay.
job.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Okay.
Bye.
Okay, guys, that's after.